So my piano has a broken key, and I just took apart my piano to fix. If you're wondering what the inside of an Alesis Recital Pro looks like, this is what it is. And I'm honestly really surprised. They make it super easy to fix. You can unscrew right here, these screws, you unscrew, and you can take out a whole section of keys. You just lift them out and pull them up like that, and you can take apart. So I wish I would have been recording to show you, but this contact right here, this is middle C. Well, this is not middle C, sorry. This is an octave above middle C. This was really, really dirty, and so I would barely touch the key, and it would either play at full volume or it wouldn't play any noise at all because it was so dirty. But I got that cleaned up. So that's looking good. It's really dirty up there, but that I can't really do nothing about that because it's all lubricated. So the way that they make it feel, like a real piano, because these keys, you can hear, they're really flimsy. These keys, they push down on these weights. They're like actual hammers. So it feels like you're pressing a real piano. But I got that cleaned up, so I'm gonna put it back together and we'll see if it works. So basically all I did to clean it was I got some of this contact cleaner and very gently sprayed some on it. And then I got a microfiber cloth and wiped it across all the contacts so they were all even. Scrubbed that one off a little bit, and it's all clean. So now all I gotta do is put this plastic piece back. This is what actually presses down on the contact so it can make the noise. When the key comes down, you can see right there, when the key is pressed, it smushes that contact, which sends a signal to the motherboard right here. It sends the signal here and here because it's stereo. So it sends those signals, and the motherboard transmits that signal into sound, which goes into here, which goes out to the speakers. So I'm gonna pop this back together and put the keys back in, and we'll see if it works. I really hope lights on. I really hope it works because I really don't know what I'm doing. But I really hope it works, because if it does, it's really cool. And shout out to Alesis, because this was super easy to do. I don't know what I'm doing, and I figured it out on my own pretty much. Quick, now that I'm done putting that track back on, let me show you how these keys go back on. You just get them, and you line them up. It's probably really hard one-handed, but you just line them in like that, and then pull it down just like this. You can see they are crooked. You don't want to leave it like that. You want to make sure it's clicked in the track, and then you're going to get your screws. I just like to park them in first before I screw them down. That way I am sure that everything is going to be put exactly how it needs to be. So I just like to park them in there, give it a little wiggle, make sure it's good, and we'll do the same thing right here. Lined up, pull it down, over, and down onto those. There, make sure it's clicked in, get a wiggle, make sure it ain't gonna move, and then you'll get your screws and put them in just like over there. Down where they're hand tight. You don't want to make them too tight, because you can that plastic that it drills into, that it screws into, is brittle, and the plastic that the top of the screw rests on is brittle. If you tighten it down too much, you could risk breaking that plastic, and all this work that you just did would go to waste, and then you'd have to take it to a repair shop and probably spend a ton of money trying to fix it, when the whole point that you're taking it apart by yourself in the first place is to fix it on your own. So be gentle, make sure it's snug but not too tight. Hand tight should be good. After it's done, you just want to run your hand across, make sure all those keys work. Don't forget to test the black ones too. Once you're for sure that they're all good and they all work, they all click down fine, you're going to start clicking in the motherboard. So these are the two motherboards. This is for right channel, left channel, stereo, This is actually really cool. This piano can be powered by batteries. So this tube right here is where the batteries would go, and then that's what goes to the power board to power the motherboard and all the important stuff. So let me get this back on here. Okay, when you're putting this back together, you want to look at your connector right here. You see there's a notch right there. That notch has to be lined up with the connector that is on the board right there. You want to make sure it's lined up. You're just gonna put your finger right there and just push in. You should hear a click, but you can give it a little tug. Make sure it's nice and snug in there. It should be good. And same thing on the other side. Same thing on the other side. You're gonna line it up. This one you got to be a little bit careful because it's really close to that power board. You don't want to touch that by accident because you could get electrocuted. I'm not saying you will, but you can. So be very careful. This plugs into the power board. That one you want to be super careful with. You can see right there that white connector back there. Usually when I was just editing this little video thing, and one thing I forgot to mention was the reason that you don't want to touch that power board is because the little black cylinder thingies that were on there, those are called capacitors. When that's plugged in, that holds power, and touching that can transfer that power to you. That holds a ton of power inside of them. Like on a TV, I've actually taken these apart and fixed one with my dad. It holds a lot of power, and touching that could be lethal. It could be lethal. Now, in this little keyboard, it probably doesn't have that much, but you still really want to be careful. You don't ever want to take chances. So I have done work on like TVs and stuff before. You don't really want to touch that. Trust me, I've been electrocuted before. What I usually do is I hold it by the wire. I push it in so it's on, and then I get something like a screwdriver. And I just very gently push it until it clicks. And then once it's clicked in, once all that's done, you can put this back over. When you put the cover back on, you want to make sure that you don't get it on top of any of the keys. You want to get it nice and flat where it's sturdy. Make sure it's sturdy, it's not going to go anywhere. Then you can flip it around and put the screws back in. So first you would want to put this holds down the inside. So where the speakers are, that is drilled in. There's two there and two there. You would do those first because you take those out last. So you want to work opposite. So when you take it apart, you do all the outside, and then you do that. When you're putting it together, you do that, and then do all the outside. You want to get them. Make sure they're lined up in the hole, and then send them in. Just like that should be good. You don't want to over tighten it because you can break that plastic. Alright, we got those screwed in. Now you're going to want to work and do all these around. Don't do it too tight because you can break that plastic. Last one. Now all of them are screwed in, so let's put it on the stand and hope it works. Alright, moment of truth. Here we just turned it on. It's on regular piano. Turn up the volume. That sounds good. Sounds got it. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped, even though I don't really know what I'm doing. I figured it out, and I hope this helped. If you have the same issue, hopefully this helps you fix it. But thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.